There's a report in the newspaper in 2000 when there was lots of barbed wire put up in the square, and the headline in the newspaper was Hanover Square looks like Alcatraz. Peace and blessings to you wherever you are in the world. Hope you're having a wonderful, blessed day. Welcome to my series Born in Bradford. Somebody said to me, what's your name? Javez Khan is the name. Remember the name. So we're just carrying on with that little series, and I'm going to take you down a little personal history trail. So back in 1992 we sold our house and we came to live in Hanover Square. Before we moved to Hanover Square, and this is where I'm just going from memory, so please forgive me if you're fully aware of the information. However, back in 1980, there was a restoration scheme for the square because the square was going to be demolished because the houses were in a really bad condition. So the houses were in a real bad condition. The local authority had decided that they would demolish all the houses and flatten it. Now, after various feasibility studies took place, what they found was there was a community here that thought in the same way, had the same values, had the same norms, had the same backgrounds. They would see children just playing on the street very safely, children running about into one house, out of another house, and they thought that, hang on a minute, words to the nearest effect, that we have an issue here. This is not something that we should do, and we should look to restoring this square, looking at partnerships, bringing people together, bringing the community together, understanding what their needs are, understanding what the needs are of society at large within this wonderful square. And after many years, a scheme was formed where there was partnerships between local people, the local authority, national government, English Heritage, and many other partners as well, to restore the houses in Hanover Square. And mashallah, one of the legends of Hanover Square, a wonderful gentleman who just wanders to the masjid. So this video is in no particular order, but basically a scheme was formed. So the houses were then sold for £1 as a conveyance, I believe, to the local authority. And so over a period of time, there was many negotiations between the local authority and or organizations, the local people. There were many meetings. Some people were in agreement, some people were in disagreement. However, ultimately there was a consensus, and the houses were then sold or given to the local authority, if I'm correct, for a conveyance of £1 in order for these houses to be restored to their original beauty. It's a horseshoe-shaped square. Is that right? Is that how you say it? It's a horseshoe-shaped square. No, it's not. It's a horseshoe-shaped horseshoe type of square. It dates back to about 1840 is when it was laid out and when it was built in the way that it was built. Most of the homes are 3 stories. Is that how you say that? There's 2 stories and there's 3 stories as well, and the central houses are shaped slightly differently. As you can see, the windows have an arch shape at the top, and they are all grade 2 listed buildings, and they are protected under the Conservation Act of 1990. So if you attempt to change the doors or change the windows or change the colours, in an ideal world you're supposed to be going through planning permission. Haha, but not everyone does. So it's a historic square, which originally, so Hanover Square, in terms of historic England, and particularly Manningham, it had lots of character, had lots of diversity as well. And Taylor and Gibson say that this was a middle class area that was fashionable. It was a hub. It was it had a sense of civic pride, and obviously high quality architecture in this square as well. And the purpose of me telling you this is for those of you that live in Hanover Square. It's like I am second generation, and I can tell you how I was involved in this square, and how I rebuilt this square, okay, basically from nothing. And I'm talking about the central area, the parks, etc., etc. So I'm sharing memories. I'm a voice for you. So if you're watching this video and you are aware of the history and the people, please share your views. Please comment on it as well in a non-judgmental way, because Hanover Square is Hanover Square for all its beauty, for all its greatness, for all its rich cultural history in a thousand ways as well. However, more recently, okay, its reputation has been slightly tarnished. All right, and it's mine, your, and everybody's job, okay, in this square to make sure that it's not tarnished as well. Because if you're like me and you're second generation Pakistani background, then could you imagine 1951, our elders leaving Pakistan? And in particular, in 1982, there was an article in the Times newspaper which talked about Haji Anwar Khan Kakaji, who was possibly the first person of a Pakistani background from the northwest of Pakistan. And when he came to this country, and then others came to the country, and their families came as well. They worked in the mills, worked in the factories, and helped to build modern Britain. Some of them only had like rupees in their pockets, and those that came from other parts of the Southeast Asian continents only had a few takas, okay, in their pockets at that time. However, reading more recently about the quality of life, there's an English indices of multiple studies which are, I think, affiliated to somebody called the LSOA, and they talk about Hanover Square in terms of the income levels of people, their employment, their backgrounds, okay, their educations and skills, and their living environment. So if you're a Googler, if you look under what do you need to look under, if you look at quality of life, put in the postcode BD13BY, there's a whole history of Hanover Square that comes up. And I'm not a great believer of everything that comes up, okay, but it'll give you a certain indication of Bradford and this particular area of Bradford. Anyway, more about Hanover Square. And a great Margaret Macmillan lived in the square, and that was our house, number 55 Hanover Square, which we bought in 1992. So look, I'm just wandering around the square, and I found somebody very special who walked out of the door of the house which I lived in for years and years and years. So mashallah, look, I found Ibrahim. How are you, Ibrahim?
Good, alhamdulillah.
Mashallah, right? How long have you lived in Hanover Square?
All my life.
All your life, yeah. Right, okay. Tell all the people throughout the world that are watching what's really nice about Hanover Square.
Just the community, everyone knows everyone.
Yeah.
We've all grown up in the same area, and just all the little kids playing about, everything is just like
Great.
everyone's a family in it.
Mashallah,
In Hanover Square.
Great, yeah. Okay. And so everybody's family, everybody's like close together, everyone knows each other as well, right? Okay. What else is good about Hanover Square?
Just the people.
The people, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Which language do most of the people speak in Hanover Square?
Pashto.
Pashto.
Yeah.
Did you know that the first Pathan came to Hanover Square roughly in about 1951?
No.
Did you know that? Okay. So 1951, and now how many years is that, Ibrahim? Your maths is probably better than mine. That's a long time, isn't it?
70 years ago.
70 years
70
ago,
years.
right? Okay. So when the first person came, do you know which village he came from in Pakistan?
Probably Wesa.
He came from Wesar, definitely, right?
Yeah.
And do you know anyone in Hanover Square that might be related to the first person that came from Wesar all those years ago?
Probably, I don't know.
Okay, do you know Biff?
Yeah,
Well, it was Biff's granddad.
with granddad.
Biff granddad, yeah, and they came, and I think they had the house somewhere on the corner. Do you know when your granddad came to the United Kingdom, to England?
No.
Go and ask him.
I'll ask him.
Yeah, ask him and say, Granddad, you know, do you speak Pashto? Of course you speak Pashto, right? Okay, you just said it, right? So ask your granddad, say, when you came to the UK, all right, which year did you come in and how did you get here? You know, like for me and you, right? Okay, we go on the internet, we book our tickets, we go to the airport, sit in the airplane, we're off. Yeah? In those days, there'd be no mobile phones. Internet wasn't even somebody's thought, right? Okay, traveling in a car would probably be difficult as well, right? And like today, we catch the train and we're at Manchester Airport. Not for them. Okay, very, 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 very difficult, right? Have you ever not had a mobile phone?
Well, I've only got a mobile phone recently.
Oh, mashallah, when did you get it?
15.
50. I'm going to speak to your dad, right? Say, listen, mate, you should have bought him a phone earlier. Okay. Do you feel nervous talking on here?
No.
Oh, good, right? Okay. So just before Ibrahim goes, right, we're going to grill him a bit. We're going to do a quiz. Okay, how old is Hanover Square, Ibrahim?
I'd say like 50, 60 years old.
50, 60 years old, right? So according to data, okay, Hanover Square was born about 1840.
It's a long time ago.
A long time ago, yeah? So how old is your house then? Number 55 Hanover Square. It's hundreds of years old, isn't it? Yeah, my maths is awful as well, right? Bit of fun, Ibrahim, right? So these houses were sold for £1 in around about 1983, something like, no, 1985. Did you know these houses were sold for £1? Okay, ask your dad and ask your granddad why they were sold for £1. Promise to ask, right?
I'll ask him.
Okay. Okay, thanks for being a sport, Ibrahim. Take care, inshallah. Yeah, take care.
Hello.
Look. Oh, hello. Assalamu alaikum. Look, we've got a whole load of friends, mashallah, yeah? We've got Anis's young ones, Faiz's young ones, and Amir's young ones, right? When these guys, okay, when Amir and Anis, okay, and these guys were quite young, in 1992 and 1993, they had roughly the similar type of ages with these guys. And I remember walking around Hanover Square, picking litter and keeping the square clean, and then we'd eat burgers and pizzas and crisps on a Sunday, right? And it would keep all the area nice and clean and nice and tidy. And that's one of the reasons, okay, why we were able to rebuild Hanover Square all those years ago, right? Do you want to say something?
Subscribe.
Like the video.
Oh! That's so nice.
Other videos on this channel.
Oh,
And subscribe and like.
Okay, let's say it all together. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Subscribe and like videos.
I'll move the camera, right? So I was in Hanover Square attempting to do a video talking about the people, the culture, the language, the development of the square, how the Hanover Square project came around in 1994, but I kept bumping into lovely people who wanted to have a chat, and I had some fabulous children that were following me around, so I stopped with them to talk to them as well. So Anis, Faiz, Amir, look, these kids, mashallah, 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 are a credit to you. They're a credit to your family. They're a credit to all the people that have influenced them, including you guys, including the grandparents, including the mums, and including the wonderful people in the families and the wonderful people of the square as well. So they have a message. So let's listen to the message they have for all of us. Okay, guys, number 1,
Share.
number 2,
Like.
number 3,
Subscribe.
number 4,
Comment.
and number 5.
Assalamu alaikum.